I've got some exclusive news for you here today about a topic you've heard a lot about recently, and that's NACS to CCS1 adapters. If you've been following this topic, you know the transition from CCS1 to NACS hasn't gone very smoothly so far. We have massive shortages of adapters. Way more people want them than are available. The Electron Vortex adapter here had a recall only a month or two after it went out. Then recently, a couple weeks ago, Ford recalled the batch of the official Tesla adapters, the adapters made by Tesla. Although Ford said it wasn't a recall, they just need to take back a couple thousand adapters in a customer satisfaction program. It was a recall. They just didn't want it officially on the NHTSA website, in my opinion. And now, the third of the three most popular adapters, the A2Z Typhoon adapter, is going to be recalled. This is exclusive information you're hearing here because it's not even listed on the NHTSA website yet. That's going to come next week at some point. But the CEO, Amin Zator of A2Z, reached out to me and said, Tom, we're going to be issuing a recall next week of the first version of the adapter that we made, not the new A2Z Typhoon Pro, the original one with the manual lock. And he said, if you'd be interested, I'll come on State of Charge to explain to everybody exactly why we're doing this. And of course, I accepted that gracious offer. And that's what we're going to do here today. We're going to talk adapters, and I'm going to give Amin the opportunity to explain what this recall is all about. With that said, let's get into it. I'm here today with the CEO of A2Z EV, Amin Zator, and Amin has an announcement to make today with regards to one of his products. We've seen a lot of action recently, Amin, in this space with adapters and with Ford doing a recall that they don't want to call a recall, and other automakers now gaining Supercharger access. So many people have so many questions about these adapters. I've been trying to stay on top of things, and I want to thank you for coming on State of Charge in the past to talk about your products, and also for coming on here now because there's an important announcement that you're going to be making here today. And with that, why don't we get into it? Let's let the State of Charge community hear it first from you.
Yeah, thank you for having me again, Tom. It's always a pleasure to be on your channel. So there is going to be some news coming out very soon, in maybe the next few days. We're going to have a voluntary exchange program, which also going to be appearing on the NHTSA's website. There is a whole backstory around it. So first of all, you know, you've had us on the channel a couple times, 2 times if I remember correctly, and I was telling you that we were in contact with OEMs. I'm now ready to tell you, basically, we were in contact with OEMs since June 2023. We were also in contact with Tesla for various purposes, various products, various discussions between engineers. And basically, our goal was not to necessarily get endorsed by an OEM or have them sell our products or be supplied with our products. Our goal was more of a validation. We've always had that motto, and I think I told you in the first interview, we would not sell the product without proper validation because we care about safety and we want customers to have the best possible safe product. So we were in touch with Tesla, like I said, and June 2024, we've received a cease and desist letter. And we were quite surprised. Honestly, it was a shock for us. It was kind of a knife to the heart because we were not expecting that letter, especially since we were already talking. And basically, they were stating that they think potentially our version 1 of the adapter, the original Typhoon, the one that we were selling before, was maybe dangerous. And there was an engineering third-party report attached to that cease and desist. It was basically legal threats, you know. So we read that, and I shared it with the whole team, our legal department, engineers, counterparts in China. And we said, okay, let's let's halt the sales for a few days. Maybe there's something we haven't seen, and it's quite possible, you know. Um, Tesla is a very capable company. They have resources in terms of engineering, and they have proven themselves. So we've read the report, and to our surprise, we did not agree with any of the claims they had. Basically, to us, the report was assumptions. It was not final. It was stated as not being final, and it was made by a third-party engineering firm. And most of the claims were like, it goes as following: we think this is dangerous because we don't have enough data about the components or the specifics of this part of the adapter. So they evaluated the risks on unknown or unsure things. So when we knew that the adapter was to us low risk, because there's always a risk, you know, Tom. Even OEMs adapter have low risk. Certification agency is not going to clear an adapter from absolute risks. We started selling the product again, and we've provided them with a counter report, an engineering counter report, where every single claim was countered with engineering facts. Then there was a meeting with the third-party engineering firm, their lawyers, and our engineers. At first, you know, there was a certain numbers of claims. Before the meeting, half of the claims disappeared or were not mentioned anymore. And during the meeting, we discussed 3 claims, and our engineers did an excellent job countering every single claim. Like I said, again, with engineering facts. And numbers are numbers. It doesn't change from, if numbers are said in a way in Canada, it's not different in the US or in China. So, and to our understanding, they seemed satisfied in a way that they simply asked us to prove what we've just said. There then followed an exchange of documents. We've provided over 160 documents, engineering documents, quality control documents, test reports, even test reports shared with us by OEMs. We have a very huge test report made by an OEM with over 10,000 entries on an Excel sheet showing all the voltage, all the temperature rise of the adapter. So we've shared those documents, but we've kept getting pressure for an NHTSA recall. You know, Tom, every single adapter we have and we've sold has been tested, visually inspected. And when we say tested, it's not only physically, but also electrically. We have 2 quality control departments, one in China and one in Canada. And the reason why it's not because we don't trust our counterparts, it's simply because for us, it's our duty to provide safety to our customers, you know. So after that, we've kept getting pressure towards that NHTSA recall, and I think we were not the only ones targeted. At the end of the day, we knew that V1, the lock-in mechanism, was not great. You said it yourself, I think.
It's the only thing, you know, when I did that first review, I mean, and I'll let you talk, but you mentioned me here. It's the only thing that I found fault in. And I remember when I did the review, I said, you know, love this adapter, feels solid, great, you know, seems like it's really well made. You showed me engineering reports about how safe it was and everything, real, you know, engineering reports. And I said, but this lock, I just don't like it. And then when you sent me the new one, the Typhoon Pro, you sent me a prototype before you sold them. I was like, okay, just stop selling the other one and get this one out as soon as possible, because the locking mechanism just seems so much better. Anyway, I'll let you go on.
So yeah, and you know, we were already past V1. So for us, it wasn't worth the fight. For us, the adapter wasn't unsafe. So we sat as a team and we decided, you know what, our customers trusted us for V1. They were early adopters. We can make this positive. Why don't we exchange V1 for V2 for those who come forward to us? And they're going to have a better overall adapter, an improved adapter, a better lock-in mechanism. You know, in the NHTSA recall, there's going to be 2 claims. The first one is the lock-in mechanism after approximately 10,000 inserts, maybe a bit lower, might feel degraded because of all the inserts and withdrawals. The older
10,000 inserts, you're saying?
10,000, yeah.
Okay, right.
So basically, the lock-in pin is made out of plastic, where V2, the lock-in pin, is made out of metal. The retaining force for V1 under the lock-in state was about 475 newtons, give or take. For V2, we're looking over 900 newton. The standard prescribes 753 newtons. And you know better than anyone else. There was no standard when we started developing this adapter. It was still being worked. There was no proper certification, and the standard kept on changing. We were part of the SAE committee. I'm not going to say that we did help a lot. We were mostly there to learn more about safety, about the upcoming standards. And these guys are great. They've worked very hard to make a standard as safe as possible, and they've listened to all the OEMs to make something that's going to make everyone happy. So the standard kept on changing. A lot of things changed from let's say January, when we started selling, up until now. The standard was published, I think, 2-3 weeks ago, and certification processes are supposed to start by the end of the year, or Q1 2025. So for us, we decided, let's take it positive. We still are talking with Tesla. Maybe this is going to be a positive outcome at the end of the day. Collaboration between us and them, and a prosperous future between our both companies. So, and the second risk of the NHTSA recall, we've, during our tests, our adapter was exposed to 500 amps for an hour continuously. No liquid cables, controlled 25 C's environment, and the adapter reached surface temperatures of 66 Celsius degrees. The standard prescribes 60 Celsius degrees. So in the NHTSA recall, it's going to be mentioning that after an hour of charging, you might feel like the surface temperature is a little bit higher than usual. For us, it's not something that's let's say dangerous, but we still want to offer a better product overall. I think part of the of this whole saga is Tesla has infrastructures. They've spent billions on developing these superchargers. Like I said, multiple companies have been targeted. So at the end of the day, they are trying to protect themselves. They are trying to protect their customers for liability purposes. And also at the same time, they want something that's going to be easy to use. With V1, the lock, we've had customer service overwhelmed with the lock-in mechanism and assisting customers on how to use it, why is it not working, and such. So yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the new locking mechanism much better. And for those that don't know, I'm going to do a quick demonstration here.
Yeah.
So here's the Tesla connector. It's basically the same as the Supercharger one, except this is just for level 2 AC charging. And here is the original Typhoon adapter with a manual lock on the bottom. What you have to do is insert the Tesla connector, and then in order to start charging, you've got to pull this or pull it towards you. Yeah, there you go. So now it's locked, but you have to manually do that. I didn't like that. No. I like the fact that you shouldn't have to flick that. I actually, a couple of times early on when I first got it and I was using it, I forgot to do it. And I'm like, oh, wait, if there's something wrong with the car or the adapter's not working. It was me. I didn't lock it. So you have to do that. And then to unlock it, you have to push the lock towards you, and now you can take it off. Now, this is your new one, the Typhoon Pro. This is the new and improved one. All you have to do is push the connector in and it locks automatically. And now there's one button here that unlocks both the CCS side and the NACS side. You just depress this and you can pull it out and you can remove it from the car. Okay. So it's just a better design. As far as safety goes, I'm not an engineer ripping it apart, but it just for usability, it's the one you're selling now is just so much better. And it even feels like it's heavier and better built than the first one, even though I had no problem with the first one. So what about the surface temperature that you mentioned?
Yes.
Will the new one reach that unsafe or go higher than UL 2252 standards after an hour of 500 amp, which no EV is going to pull 500 amps for an hour. No. A lot of the EVs pull high amps. Like my my Chevy Equinox actually pulls 500 amps because the battery pack voltage is so low, but it does for like 8 minutes.
Unless you charge 5 vehicles back to back, yes, you're going to reach those temperatures. We're just stating facts regarding after an hour, it might reach 66 Celsius degrees. Regarding the V2 temperature, we've made some tweaks. Temperature sensors are closer to the bus bar. We've been cleared to replace V1 for V2. Okay, we've came to an agreement with Tesla.
Okay, so they don't have a problem with V2 as of today.
Yeah, we've came to an agreement. They've agreed to us to replace V1 for V2. And like I said, despite not agreeing on V1 testing documents that we provided, at the end of the day, we decided that we're going to be simply replacing V1 for V2 for those who come forward to us. Now, people are going to ask, is it like dangerous? Do I have to stop using it immediately? The lock-in mechanism, the retaining force might be degraded after a few thousand uses. So we just ask people to use the adapter as intended. There is a switch lock, and that's pretty much it. And for those who come forward to us, they're going to get a free V2 adapter.
Now, when you say for those that come forward, are you going to send notifications out or?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I know I have a good reach here at State of Charge, but I think a lot of your customers won't be watching this video and they won't know about it. So you'll send out an email, and what would be the process? Are you asking customers to return the V1 adapter?
So basically, we're in the process of finalizing the steps. Everything's going to be stated in the email that every single V1 owner will receive, and the steps are going to be pretty clear, and the process is going to be pretty straightforward. We would hate for people to be caught in a month, 2 months delays. We don't want that. We're going to make it as smooth as possible, and the steps are going to be pretty straightforward as well.
The way you redesigned it now with the single press and it unlocks both ends, it's just a better adapter, and I think the customers that do swap it will feel that way too. And it's good on you for not trying to fight this and just saying, you know what, it's probably the best thing for our customers. Let's do this, because I'm sure, and we haven't talked about the legal issues of this with you or whatever, but I'm sure you could have continued to fight this and say, no, we're not recalling it. There's nothing wrong with the adapter. We have all the proof. I think your decision to do this helps your customers and also kind of appeases Tesla. It shows them that, look, you're willing to work with them. They didn't like the switch. They didn't like the certain temperatures. You're not there to ruffle any feathers. So I think that it's probably the best decision for your company moving forward, because you're in it for the long haul. You've got a bunch of different adapters. You're talking about doing an extension cable, which I know a lot of my followers have been asking me to do. Whenever you have one of your production intent versions of that extension cable ready, please send it to me, because I definitely need to test that thing out. And a lot of people are asking for it. Any word here while we're here today on the extension cable?
Yeah, no, definitely. There has been a situation on X when the extension cable was discussed with Tesla's engineer, who's commented about the extensions being dangerous, and I agree with him. Extensions are dangerous if not properly made, and in our case, we've managed to make the extension work like an adapter. There's 2 temperature sensors on each side, and the extension derates by sending a resistor value signal to the EVSE and the EV. And we've tested quite heavily the extension cord, and it does derate. For example, on a Rivian vehicle, it does start at 220 kilowatt, and after a few minutes, it drops to 170, 150, 130, and at some point, it derates to 70 kilowatt. So the extension cord is not meant for a flagship product that's going to be giving you a full potential of charging. It's only there to help those who, those who carry something in the back of their vehicles and cannot reach charging stations, whether it's superchargers or other charging stations. We know that other charging station companies are coming out with NACS across the country, across USA mostly. So this is not only going to be intended for Tesla superchargers.
Yeah, well, the thing about that is the superchargers, most of the other DC fast chargers, are set up to handle
Yeah.
charge ports in any location because EVs are all over the place. Tesla designed their superchargers to service Tesla vehicles, and very few other vehicles have the charge port in that, the driver's side rear. Volvo, Polestar vehicles do. There might be others, but most of the other vehicles have them all over the place. And especially when you're dealing with like F-150 Lightning, like I have, where it's got a big long hood, you really got to snug up close to the supercharger, and the cable is taut when you pull it in, and you're taking up 2 spots. There's plenty of times when if the supercharger site is really full, you might not be able to charge because the spot that's open, you can't reach the supercharger. So that's the use case for this, I think, on places where you need a charge, but the supercharger site's really is usually full. You can't get 2 stalls next to each other open, and that would be the use case for this, more so than not inconveniencing other Tesla drivers. I don't know how many people would buy and it's going to be expensive because I don't know, you haven't announced price yet, but I know this thing's not going to be like $200. It's going to be a lot more than that. I don't know how many people would spend a lot of money to not inconvenience someone else. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's so that they want to be sure if they pull up, they can reach. And it'll be interesting to see what the take is on that. But I know people want it because I get a lot of comments.
You'd be surprised, Tom. Honestly, on our website, we have you cannot add it to your cart, but instead you can add your email to receive a notification whenever it gets available. And we have over 2,500 people who put their email. It doesn't mean everyone's going to buy, but it means that there is interest. But like I said, for us as a company, A2Z EV has always been there to provide solutions for EV drivers. We don't follow trends. We don't sell adapters that are simply needed because it's trendy on the market. We develop products sometimes that cost us even more in development than in the revenues that we generate. And this is our mission, and we're going to keep going towards this mission, keep providing EV drivers with solutions. Like I said earlier, every adapter is tested, and we've put aside a lot of adapters. I'm not talking in the hundreds, but a lot of adapters did not pass our quality control. We do high plot testings to ensure that there's no leakage between DC plus, DC minus, the COM pins, and the neutral pin. Also, we've never had a single safety event with this adapter, never a single one. And those who contacted us because the adapter was broken after it has been dropped, it's user error, but we've accommodated those customers because for us, it's important that they have a safe adapter. We don't want them to use a broken adapter, even if it means that we're going to lose money. This is our vision, and we're going to keep working as intended.
Yeah. Well, I know for a fact you must have good customer service, because every time somebody like tweeted at me or put a message on one of my review videos that I did of you about, Tom, my adapter's broken, or didn't, whatever their problem was, and I'd respond, well, did you contact customer support? Oh, I sent them an email, or I contacted them. I think everyone I saw, like the next day, whatever, saying, oh, great on A to Z. They called me back. They shipped me a new adapter. So I haven't heard any like unsolved issues that you have. I'm not saying there's not some out there that I haven't seen, but I haven't seen any where you just didn't take care of them. So let's move over to another topic that I don't know if you're going to want to talk about, but you're here, so I got to ask you. It seems like you're probably your main competitor in this NACS adapter field, Electron, has secured a couple of really good contracts, one with Ford and one with GM.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know it's hard to speculate, but any reason, any idea why you think they might have gotten that over you? I don't, and I can't find a reason. The Electron Vortex adapter, I don't dislike it. I don't have any issues with it, but it's already had some problems. It had that recall because the lock would pull out, and then when they redesigned it, tons of people couldn't get the NACS connector out, and they were just leaving them on superchargers. So they had some manufacturing issues early on, not safety issues, just quality control manufacturing issues. Whereas you really didn't have any issues. The initial design might not have been ideal. Why do you think you haven't been able to land any major OEM as like an additional adapter, and Lectron has. State of Charge is powered by Qmerit. After I help you decide which electric vehicle charger you're going to buy, follow the link in the description of my videos and have the installation professionals at Qmerit install it. And by following the link, Qmerit will waive the $200 on-site inspection fee. But in order to have that fee waived, you have to follow the link in the description of my videos.
It's quite simple, Tom. You know, first of all, I gotta give it to Electron. Praises go to them. They're a great company. They're a bigger company than we are. They've been in this field for, I think, 6 years, where we've been here for about 3 years. Our company has existed for 8 years, yes, but they've been specialized in EVs for a little bit longer than us. So those OEMs, when they reach out to suppliers like us or like Electron, there's multiple factors to be taken into consideration. First one would be the size of the company, financials of the company, the production rate. At first, we did not have a very high production rate. It took us some time to catch up on the orders, and more investment made on the line of production. We've invested in our partner in China, so we could have better quality control, bigger line, more production lines, more molds as well. So these are all factors to be taken into consideration, and also maybe just the price. Maybe Electron was offering a very, very competitive price to those OEMs. All I can say is all the OEMs we've spoken with never, ever said that our product was dangerous. Never, ever said that, hey, we are very concerned about this and that. Never. It was always very small improvements to be made. It was always, we want you to improve quality control. We want extra steps into quality control. But it was never, the adapter was never deemed dangerous by these OEMs. And we're still in touch with OEMs as we speak. I know people, I've seen it in the comments myself, are saying, they've said multiple times we're in touch with OEMs, but still no OEM whatsoever. These things take time. There's a lot of factors and variables in place, and we wish we could deliver good news, but as of now, we still don't have anything to share.
Well, I can tell you, about a couple of months, maybe a month and a half ago, I guess it was in September, an OEM did reach out to me, or an OEM that I frequently talk with off the record on various charging topics. They ping me a lot for just picking my brain on different charging equipment and so forth. Had asked me quite a few questions about these adapters. Mm-hmm. And we talked about your adapter for a while. And, it just seemed like they wanted to pick my brain as far as usability and form factor. So I know companies are out there who are looking at your stuff. Perhaps you'll one day will land one of these contracts. Mm-hmm. I'm a little surprised. If I were to put money on it, I would say that the fact that the first adapter you put out, the one that you're recalling now, might have made might have made some of them feel unsure, like, well, it took you 2 shots to get it right. So, maybe we should go in another direction. You're a small company. I mean, I'm just speculating here, but I need to speculate because, I mean, if you look at when I posted the article on Twitter or X about Ford using the new Electron branded adapter, there's 4 or 5 people that commented and said, why are you using the Electron adapter? Why didn't you choose A2Z? I like that adapter better. So, I'm trying to come up with reasons as to why people might have said that, and why the OEMs might not have selected yours, but hopefully that'll happen for you. I think you're doing the right thing over there. I've been telling my followers from the beginning, I have no problem, even though officially the Electron adapter and your adapter weren't endorsed by any OEM until recently. I've been telling people, listen, if you trust my opinion on the subject, I feel comfortable using both of these, not some of the other cheaper ones that I'm seeing coming from China now. There's like 10 of these available now from really no-name companies that you've never heard of. But I really feel comfortable using yours. I've used it a ton of times. I've seen your engineering reports. I've talked to your engineers. I'm comfortable endorsing the product and telling people that they can use it. But that's a personal decision. People have to decide which one they want to use. I think you made a good product here, and I'll continue to use it on my electric vehicles. Is there anything else you want to add today? I appreciate you coming on to let the State of Charge community hear this first from you, because that hasn't been announced yet, the recall, right, on the NHTSA website. Okay. But I appreciate you coming on. Any final thoughts or words, anything you want to say to the State of Charge community?
Certification is coming very soon for all of our North American adapters. We've already have some feedback from the certification agency, provided further documents, and it's being certified as we speak right now under UL 2252. So,
okay, and that's, UL certification. Let's be clear about that, yeah.
Exactly, by a third-party engineering, not engineering firm, certification agency. So other than that, we encourage customers to come talk with us. This might seem like bad news. It is not, okay? We want to reassure everyone. Come talk to us. We are a very open company, and every single one of our employees, especially in the customer service, they know how to deal with these kind of situations. We've gave them green light to call customers on FaceTime to help them out. So any concerns anyone has, come forward to us. We're going to address them, and we're going to be there for you.
Okay, thank you. And I want to remind everybody that I still have an active coupon code. At least I think it expires November 15th. So for a couple of weeks, I have the 15% off active coupon code for the Typhoon Pro, which knocks like $30 off it. After that, I'm still going to have a coupon code, but it's going to be reduced. I think that all of the coupon codes are going to be reduced for a little while Amin and A2Z absorb the financial hit of this recall. I'm sure it's going to cost you guys a ton of money. So we talked about that earlier, that we're going to have to reduce a discount for a little while, which I think is understandable. And I wish you good luck and continued success. As I said, this adapter here, the Typhoon Pro, I'll continue to endorse because I think it's a good product. Amin, and thanks for coming on today.
Thanks to you. Have a good day.
Okay, so I'd like to thank Amin again for coming on and giving me the opportunity to disseminate this information before it's made public. I can't give you the exact procedure to swap your old A2Z adapter for the new A2Z Typhoon Pro, because they honestly don't have that whole system worked out yet. It's not even on the website. If you go right after viewing this video, the process isn't going to be posted yet. It's going to take a couple days. But at some point this week coming up, you'll be able to go to the A2Z website, and there'll be instructions on how you can get your new Typhoon Pro adapter. They'll be sending emails out to all of their customers that purchased the original A2Z Typhoon. And one of the things I forgot to ask Amin during the interview, and I followed up and asked him, I said, well, what are you recommending customers do? I know when Ford recalled the Tesla adapter, they said, stop using it. Please don't use it anymore. Send it back and we'll send you a new one as soon as we can. There was a safety issue involved that they were concerned about. A2Z doesn't necessarily have that same position. It is a recall, so they're recalling the device. But I said, in the interim, until the customers get the new device, is it okay to use it? And he said, well, we are issuing a recall, but based on all of our engineering reports, and we've done extensive engineering on the adapter, we believe it's safe to use. That said, they're going through the process, and they're going to recall it and give customers the new A2Z Typhoon Pro, which is a better adapter functionally. In my opinion, it's much better rather than that manual locking thing. So I do believe part of this was the fact that Tesla got involved and said, hey, we're not going to call the NHTSA on you or report you to the NHTSA, but we really don't like the way that works. We would recommend you replacing it or issuing some sort of a recall. And I think Amin decided it's better to go along and agree with Tesla than to try to fight them on this. And quite honestly, we've had conversations about this in the past, and he knows that the Typhoon Pro is a better adapter. And he said, I'd rather have that in our customers' hands. So I think he's doing the right thing by doing this. And and replacing it. So if you do have the original Typhoon adapter, wait for a couple of days or check the A2Z website, and soon there's going to be instructions on how you can swap it out and get the new Typhoon Pro. That's all really I have here today, and if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them in the comment section. I monitor that. I know Amin in the past has also, when I've had him on before for interviews, read some of the comments. So you should be able to get any information you need directly from A to Z, but if you have anything that you want to ask me, drop it in the comment section. I'll try to get you the answers to your questions. And if this is your first time here at State of Charge, please don't forget, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming electric vehicle news and reviews, and also continuing CCS NACS adapter saga. This is getting to be like a soap opera with these adapters. Every week I have new news on it, but you know, it's a good thing that the industry's transitioning over to NACS. It really is. I figured it'd be a little bit of a bumpy start, and it certainly has been. I mean, we still only have 6 automakers out of all the automakers that have access to the Tesla Supercharger network, and not nearly enough adapters for all the people that want them, but we'll get there. That's all we have here today, and thanks for watching.